Ejiri busyo bw'ekiro ya Embassy ekeroko gende nyakoe kikia gudika imeyo muchukisi nkurwa bare bokorani ao asa mangana ya maiso nako ni birore magiga yogo korenga na kumanyumu chandu.
Kwa majina naitwa Daktari Sigei, karibuni sana Spexes Opticians Kisii Town. Hapa tunapima macho tukitumia mashine za kiteknolojia za kisasa bila malipo. Tunauza miwani hadi za bima.
Chifrem guchakira chishilingi chimia isano neiseto nemerongitano na boige setingima ase chishilingi Eyemo ne chimia isano ase ofa babuate etaraera.
Milango yetu iko wazi kutoka Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa kutoka saa 2:30 mpaka saa 11 jioni, na pia Jumamosi kutoka saa 2:30 mpaka saa
Nabuko bakiresimi ase namba enoti Eyemo enoti isano marakabire enoti Eyemo. Spexels Opticians, Goodka Clinic, macho bora kwa wote. Asegatia ito ntobwata abantu bali nobolema n'abantagwa mbabwata magani yabo mbabwate byewa mbasomete naboigo mbatagitama baga asemirimo nakubwatisuwa asubugima bwokera lituko
inyura obolema igorobole inyura kerema nkeriko sekwa inyura ekerema ngechiche
nakyo gekogera asumurubiryo bwobolema asubugima Jared Wilberforce niga gukoretera ensemo iliyotamanyiti igoro yabo
turabe tugwesemia kwemanyia na kwegokia ase amanganonsi pi ali arengete abantu baito abali nobolema ayekwarorire bagotenga
tera rituko ria Jumanne chinsa isano nemo chia mogaso no moiroro rituko ria Jumapili chinsa isato nenusu chia butuko oborema asubugima imeya Ndizi TV.
Obomo bwa azimio la umoja wa Kenya ni bagendrete kumochia serikali asogotaikirania amaganio y'abananchi asikeria bagosereire bachikubarusi obisi onyatibali gochikoikirania onsi
na chinga kichibo igobono homurai wense William Samuel Ruto ni garokane kumushumurai gwekyama kya ODM rera Morodinga asoko ndra kuroberia mangana yokorobekana aiga sense yake
mwanchi umurigeria inega tiari agendrete gokorekana ase chinsemo aoimese ya Kenya ekerotrachie gosangereria erio tokumanya senchira yo gwikiranu
onse yakereri sokoria Jumatatu asemanye Jumatatu ense Eyemo ya margoba na boigo chinse isato chia
Nigorach kumirana na nche Everline Osero
amona nche Vincent Onyancha ekerekito kubwatira nere Joshua Auta kurosomo no akwe
boigo tokubwatirana n'abasaki baito korwase chinsemo ao nigotrachi gokumanya bunagendrete gwateka imeyense ya Kenya imeya emanye Jumatatu
omurigereria bwe television ya Ndizi TV nigo tugukwiraniria ngambiya muno asoko genderera guturigireria na gutusira kira rituko asemerubiriyo yaito yonsi chinsemero ngeberenaine bono onye kendegia korekanire asekenyurukiao ekiotagete utumanye asubwango mono abonda isi veke nambeye asesemiao enoti isano na ibere inya isato isano nemo ibere isato isano na isato isano na ibere Eyemo elioto akere n'abasaki baito baikasuri na kubekoroboti ubwo asembeo emesa ya mangana maya ya Ndizi TV nereyo kwa bekiresi miao ime TV obwansu bw'omugusii.
Litkoria rero nigo Ensa enkima yabake guchengera ebintu bitwetanaine gose World Environment Day ekero bono abantu korase chinsemo au baba wesokia erio guchengera litkeriga ekero bagenderete kuborigwa anene kwene kiabunangore ndabara mazingira ase ogosimeka emete egati emeroberio endemenke nelitkoria yabono mwanchi omurigereria ekero yaragirensemo yabono mugoroba jinga kingwege na litkoria uri abere litoero rukegima nanene kwabere go kwegokia aso kubwati emerobero yonsi ya Ndizi TV nabwo obwansu bwo mugusiekero chire chitariki 5 cyomutienyi ogatano narimo umwaka no iwechi 2023 go kwariganime yembanye Jumatatu herongo manyemuna nara yaya na kwariganire kubwatira nabasaki baito asenchera ere yobwekranu nyoro mwanchi murigere litkoria Jumatatu nigo tokwa no yominto Vincent Onyancha korere litkoria rero nigo atanyara koba amona intuega asengencho yechingencho chisaye gotangekana korende kerokende ntobe toko banere erio tokumanyie una nara yagendre tokorekana imeyense ya Kenya itaganike imango kwariganio ya nyore asenchera ere yobwenge
tonalierete 7 shillings surely Kenya ererie y'abantu bakolira chibesa chinganigo ntuti tolikiri ekemerie kana kiego tokonya tosomino enaba
abaremi bekemerie kawa ko emurunganeria chibesa chinge bakonyora ko irera abange babo gusaria kemerie kyo
Viongozi wa serikali wakiwemo na Deputy County Commissioner, madio na machiefs watakuwa mstari wa mbele katika kila sehemu kuhakikisha kwamba swala la mazingira linatiliwa mkazo.
Omo County Commissioner Kisii goteba bunambachi kobwaterana asokora umuroberi obwo korenda mazingira ekeroli alengeri tkoria mazingira gose World Environment Day.
The 19th of June, the money owed the counties for the month of May will be disbursed.
Chibesa nigo chirachi kobwatuka guchia sechi serikali chechi county asegeka KK mere bosioni gatebire omokonyi bo murai bwenseri gatigashawa. Mwanchi omurigereria yo munenda mankengo kwarigania erionko banyasenchera ere yobwekiranu imeye manye Jumatatu ekarango ko inyoria na sensemeri ya Facebook na bakogendera gotonyora gwetira Ndizi TV News Digital asensemo ya YouTube Ndizi TV News aso mutandao Twitter na bago twitwetera @Ndizi TV News ere togendera gosanga nabo igo kwemanyia amanke iretria ne Everline Osero tokubwatira na nere Joshua Auta kwene kiabuna awekeire asensemo yebimanyererio gokwarigana ya chake asenchera ya bene korwa County ya Kisii awo buna tomanyete kera chitariki 5 cyakiro mutienyo gatano narimo kero mwaka Ensa enkima nige gochengera ibintu byetanene mwanya bantu gose World Environment Day naritkolya rero serikali ya County ya Kisii nigo ababwa bananchi baba wesokia na gochengera litkeriga asegetiye chigosore kya Gusii Stadium omuroberi wabagokorawa na osomuroberi wabagokorawa no mu County Commissioner we County ya Kisii Tom Anjere waziri wa mangana ya environment ya serikali ya County ya Kisii amone byombe au asibaikirana na nene gosegeta abantu kwene kiabuna nkurenda bari amazingira chinga kichonsi muri ketonde mo Stephen noroboti urwaso bwikirano
kira chitariki 5 umutinyo gatano na limo nigense enkimego chingera litukoria World Environment Day litukorire inse kiombe kyomo bwechinse asomoroberio United Nations Environmental Program UNEP ime ya Kisii ebyombe au gati yabo nema Red Cross gatechi skuru cyoboroso chisekenderi ne University nchaikira na somo yegorero omuyegora unomo County Commissioner Kisii Tom Anjere.
Tunataka pia kutilia mkazo na kuhimiza wafanyabiashara ya kwamba wako na sehemu muhimu ya kuhusika katika hali ya kuhifadhi mazingira. na tunataka wawe mstari wa mbele katika kushirikiana na Wizara ya Mazingira na County Government na washikadau wale wengine kuimarisha katika hali ya kuimarisha mazingira ya mji huu. Kama county tumekubaliana pia ya kwamba viongozi wa serikali wakiwemo deputy county commissioner, madio na machiefs watakuwa mstari wa mbele katika kila sehemu kuhakikisha kwamba swala la mazingira linatiliwa mkazo.
So today we are here to celebrate mambo ya waste plastic pollution, and I am urging all Kenyans, we come together with manufacturers. I'm also manufacturing the banana wine because I'm also in that field, whereby I'm urging that as we are going to do plastic, which is we are going to use, we have to put aside the CSR.
Ekerenga kyo mwaka oyo no gwakiarania obutumeki bwa ebintu birosiri nechi plastic. County ya Kisii gwetero mawaziri w'ebintu bitu etanaine Ronald Nyakweba nigaenekirie serikali y'omugavana Simba Arati nesiremero beribune yeiga amo na gusiria EUB ya Nyambera omuroberi ogenderete.
Sisi kama Department ya Environment tuko tayari kuhakikisha kwamba makaratasi yote, plastiki zote ambazo zinarushwa kila mahali katika kaunti yetu ya Kisii tumehakikisha kwamba zimeokotwa, na wala ambao watapatikana wakirusha hizo makaratasi ovyo ovyo hatua kali watachukuliwa. Sasa tumefungua mahali pa kutupa taka zetu pale ATC, na mnavyoenda pale tumepanga vilivyo kwa sababu sasa taka hazipatikani kila mahali.
Ebyombe byikira na Gusii Stadium nigo byasabira abantu kweneki ngosira baremero beriyo gusiro bochenu wetera kubwatio mochoko na machika bekire.
Kwa hivyo mimi ndio mhusika mkuu wa utekelezaji wa sheria zinazokataza utumiaji wa plastiki, na pia tuangalie ni mikakati gani lazima tuweke ndio tutunze mazingira, iwe na sisi ama iwe mazingira masafi kwetu na kwa generations ambazo zinakuja.
So we are looking at around 450,000 trees to be planted within this county and even more, and because of that we are urging our people to embrace behavior change, because if you don't change, nobody will change you. So our people in Kisii, please, if you use plastic, take the responsibility of knowing that this plastic, as you throw it on, is going to be a disaster in the future.
County ya Kisii yarurogo kura gucha saba menyi bense moye county ya Kisii wene kivuna kunyara bare korende bintu bibaitana ine mono gwetera gusiro bochenu gwetero bosimeki bwemete koripoteria Ndizi TV kurwense moya Gusii Stadium area tariane ndemo Steven.
Mbia mono muriketo ndemo Stephen ase oroboti ururu ikiranu tugotikana nayo nigo omo women rep ya county ya Kisii Dori Saburi Donya abagakora umurobero bwoko bwatuka ebitamba byo bochenu cyasa abanyaruka beskuru y'abanyaruka ya Rio Kindo omurobero Ensa ya Kenya Women Parliamentary Association uyoba gose obwatranete aba women rep bonsi korwase chi county chonsi imeyense ya Kenya aba women rep korwase chi county kominemo na baba wikirana ase umurobero yo uyoboye gobo wikiranwa no muchumbe wenseme yo badia barongo ase abanyaruka bo babere bakubori wa kweneki abunango bwati abare cinchera cyonsi cyo wetanga korwase amarito agenki omuriketo Mildred Momanyi namanke
kiombe gya Kenya Women Parliamentary Association ekigetenere n'abasubati abubare abarayikorwa kibunge cyonsi imensi ya Kenya nigo baorokia obwanchani gocyase abana baiseke imeskuru ya secondary ya Rio Kindo yego toka imeye ward yabo kimonge imeye abo machoge borabu haso kubalentera ebitamba byo bochenu kose sanitary pads hase omoyego yo oragwano mo women rep we county ya Kisii Dori Saburi hase gatia bali baikirana no mojumbe bwenseme yo yabo machoge obade ya barongo omo MCA gati abande abange Donya nigo ateba gati yali abacha kubasemya aboroki wabo na boigo ase omoteneli bekyombe ekyo ateba mbache kweneke buna aboroki wabonsi Kenya engi mamba bebakonyora ebitamba byo bochenu ekero bali asa matukabo elioko keanya ebirengera lyo asa banabo ekero bali ase skuru
keri kendege kabuna bono twachaga gatwa abana sanitary pads twa donateri nebitabu bakobeka se library naende tocha kweneka reji abana baitu gore ya marita mapema tocha bakani gore chief chef DM gotumia maliogo na gutwara obwanchani ase skuru okonyora omwana ari skuru yabaiseke abwato mwise ko musani bakurikirana love letters abana babaito batatebiri mbakomanya including bategotwara obosani na abarimu abana mbali bare very dangerous okonyora omwana akubuli omwalimu obosani bono ekaroto bakanetigere bia twerelaize abeboli mbare batari konyara ko open up batebia abana babo issues echiga chirengete obwanchani konyora abana bono bakolireki banyoriro.
Na sisi pia tutahakikisha kama wabunge wenu kwamba mambo ya pads tumesongesha na tumepush ili tupate kupata kwa mashule zetu, ili watoto wetu kwa kauli moja wasikue wanakosa kuja shuleni kwa sababu ya ukosaji wa pads na kwa sababu ya hiyo menstrual staining themselves when they are on their monthly periods.
We want to thank you and we will continue the role that you have started iga and toka ndre kubatra ntokora gali kindoka school nechi nyingi turanya recommend the young the baby the girl child.
Nigo babolia omwaziri w'ekisemi Ezekiel Machogu uche kuligereria ekalenda ya masomo na kwaenekea buna aboroki wangonyora bale obosemia iguru yogwetanga kurwa ase amalita mapema ase boigo barwa omubaro bwa bagoroki wabalia banyorirwe no mochando yo wikira omwakoeta.
And I'm going to ask the Minister for Education, Honorable Machogu, you need to withdraw your circular that has refused schools from having conversation on matters sexual issues. Let us create a good curriculum that you think is best in Kenyan terms, but don't deny these children access to the information that will protect them from pregnancies. Kenya had a total of 2,204,252 pregnant girls. Of this picture, 15 to 19-year-old, 68,774 came from Gusii. And honorable members, if we don't come up with good policies and support for adolescent health, we are winning the future of our nation.
Nigo baigoba ganya abana baiseke gotatwara boba bonde bwensi ekero bali asa matukabo.
Ya mwezi ni kawaida kama kuenda kwa choo. Nani anaona aibu kuenda kwa choo? So usiongope.
Tushike vitabu, tusipanue maguu, tufungue vitabu. Si ndivyo?
Want to urge all the girls. It is normal, it is natural to have menses. So don't be ashamed.
Kulipotelea egetaseni kia Ndizi TV, elitaliane Mildred Momanyi.
Mbia mono murikeito Mildred Momanyi ase oroboti ororo ikiranu abalimi bekemerie kawa korwa sensemo ya Nyakoe ni goritkoria rero besokia iri okorobo chori babarai ao barabe bakubatinira nonya nabo ni gobochori obubwabo goturubaniwa achingaki oyo tenere tabaga kubekwa biara askiria gotebekana unatabwatete machiko ase okora omurubiri obwobochori obwo na ya magaga yabalimi abubekawa wesokia na kwimurungania askiri bagoteba bunanigo ekemerekia abo kiabegose oburimi bwabo kawa beribokera na magaga kubwatikana n'ekibesa kinge ekyo bawakanwa muri keto dipo nasanya na twariganire tiamanke
abalimi bekemerigie kawa ime sublocation ya Gusii ime Nyakoe mbiriro bale maega yokuliera ekira ya moye kawa chisiringi isano na ibere asebono baimurunganirie obora yobobe ase society yeye
Chibesa na alierete chintangani echi arenge siringi 81 bono moiso na alierete 7 shillings surely kenyererie y'abantu bakoliera chibesa chinganigo ntuti tolikiri ekemerie kena kiego tokonya tosomino na abana ekero ngati batagete tomenye
abantu twachandikire nga kientambe Nyakoe gaiga oburai bore Nyakoe gaiga njetimanyiti gose simbarati namanyitegenteke
oburai bwabeira obobe abalemi baminto monta akomenya office for 25 good years oinere totagitagende twakorira obochori obuya
ekagune konubwa igonkorete slip naboro kichibesa naoni mbaretere mboro kinga ebesa naoni neyenganiga lakini umusacho yogeku ere naoni rie kawu ya yagotoneria tariko tebarimi mbesa kitiaone
okonyora bale osiri tikataire je arosiri amarubo yobukora pamurusi obisi pale tumuntu bataitu uri bakugambira bone twasabire twaitananire bali bina bwaba kurukyogo ngege nyakoe etwasabire obochori twakora rero yes igo borobocho
gati yabaremi abo banyara gwikirana iri gukora obochori bw'abarai abao nigo konyora bakura moyo gwikira gusaria ekemeri ase migondo yabo ase bate bang'ati barochie ng'eria yo gwetigana ase oboremi
buone enaga itete chikawa 50 ngachigeta kabisa ngarte skuta oyo nkonyete no murimi oyo magataga ndikuratigira igo echina simikire chireke gorigi chikawa chisimikire maega koyo nangere ngende gusimura
komenta nayo nigo mobisa bwa serikali Yohana Auma Otao oyu orenge omoteneneri bw'obochori obwe anyara kubwatwa na koirwa segetaseni ky'abanyanyimbo asebairira gotebanga tabwate tichiko lyogokoria obochori obwe
yabaremi ng'a mbiya mono eseng'encho mwamwire ng'a mochenchi oborai nande mosiri obokurumi egera omoremi anyare kobioka
afisa fake ande hapo ndani ndio afisa wako afisa wako wewe chai kidogo akule chai kidogo
boigo abaremi mbaru okubolia guchese serikali konyara koigwa ikirero kyabo na kubakonya buna abaremi
gitego sabaga kyabakonyi baito simbarati atokonye aturerere kawe buna bono egarera amangana bakari gukwana bose buna bono tutenenega amangana ye kawe gukwanirwo abantu bande bakorie kawe ligo lirigia lakini iga seng'encho abantu babere batatu batenerete oboremi oboiga
governor tafadhali nakuomba tuabaire turete ndi right now buna twakorera obochori etoko gosaba you intervene hini chire ground akuja atusaidie mahana sisi tumelia kama wakulima
barimi chikawe chito bono tigatuganye obise twa ya torenya eto tangaze konyo twatigire ntoreta chikawa talibo tokane
saidia
kulipotele getaseni kia Ndizi TV korwa se wodi ya Mbaka ya kitutu cha South Amayia County ya Kisii ilitalia Nendipon Asanya
Mia mono murikeito dipona asanya ase oroboti ururu ikirana tugotikana nayo nigo abakansula bakoro korwa sensemo ya North Mugrango Amayia County ya Nyamira bagandirio murembe koene kiwagati ya barai aya magega yo mugavana bwe county ya Nyamira Amos Kimuminya ribokororokana kurutarana chingwa na chindindi no mochumbe on North Mugrango Josh Nyamoko unatokumanyiwa no murikeito Job Monkey
Nigo siasa igore oboteneneri bwe county Nyamira chiaretera liberera rinene ase amatuko abwango iga
Egokero egokombu yagenderete mwakira chingobi Osero mbiyare mwachingobi yo tantore gote wait Yacho ni abande
sina ubaya na yeye lakini wana gara kungira alia gara bwata madaraka de na inchenga lembu ne president
okungusana na okonene kwarorekanire egatyo mugavana gwe county Nyamira no mubunge ono tumugirango Josh Nyamoko
my executive wachumbe senators na women rep tutembee pamoja
yani jaba kole chongelgira sisi bagodan
bagukwana asensemu ya ikonge bono nigo abakansora abakoro babeire bagwesokia na gosaboko bwaterana egati abarai abo
na ndamegete kioma elio amasikani tigabe egati ya national government na county government
na mono bainyura abantu kururi mashinani kiagera ebintu nebinge bono kibara kya salikire ebintu bya salikire kisukuru nini bari ogota binya gitari bibaga bakwenda okolega ciyi bateberera mangano koramana
gosaba batari kungana bachamo bakonye Nyamire yaiterabe kipara kibe kinya gitari kirosigwe kikawa kitinyore echiro chicha kinyore echiro
mbagi kelia engana yokoramana egatia barai na goteba nengana yogoichane mono iyera chikuirania amagenderero maega
agera goika tutatwaritia masikani bichate korrekana ngiye kera abantu bakuramana munabone gente kaba kuwa baja abanene bachakire kuramana atarani yogekorete bichembe ase Nyamira County
umurai umuya yanarite kuramura kinyukira noyo narite kurama umuntu tukaga gusina akore magenderani Nyamira yaitu igonda atebe naki capacity y'abantu ba national ne capacity y'umuntu uri president ya county asikerieta
mbasaba baraya bukobeka abakoreri bosyo eline koreta amagenderero ase county ya Nyamira
negasi babwene gokoraki ebintu ebi nebyo ntigera nontigera agatigerundi taringo bwomerere paka oche kweba
korubia ombiro biragera usikwe ebikoro bya ese gwakonyete no muntu agukunyurira tigakorera abantu baitemiremo kerara aje gutwara ukugani abantu mbarore
era twara masikani yaye igo tware gusabanga Nyasaye atokonye ntwa bakanzo bari twarwe to ni twaro setiva nyono bisi bakorere gasi ni ntutwaye begete tindaro bisi ende yabekirwe igo tiga batwara masikani amanene
ginko reporter ya Ndizi TV kurwase county Nyamira Job Maangi
Mia mono murikeito Job Maangi ase oroboti ururikiranu engana yo wetiwa kwebilie chibesa y'umwaka wa 2023 ase bunge nigagendrete koreta omungso nabo igo ebirengerero au korengano mu chumbo South Mugrango Silvana Osero nigabeire kago kwanirenganeye na oteba bange baboni go banchiranete ne bilie yo nanigo babekire 2024 yokoene kiabuna ebilie yo nechie wetiwa okwana chinga kechi Osero nigabaga koene kiabuna ebilie abedeke gokorerwa amaunchoreria buna ebwenerete korengana namaganyo yaba Kenya nanigo ebwatraneti emeroberera eraji gokonya omo Kenya so kwegenderea bya asama tukaribusyo.
The finance bill is a very unique thing that in the event you affect a certain angle of revenue collection, then the whole thing is messed. We'll again restart. Yet we have a timeline of 30 days from 1st June. And that is why we say we have no option because there's a budget to pass. I mean, Kenyans, even, the civil servants want salary. How do you want salary without budget being passed? And the budget can't just go through without the finance bill. So our strategy is to mobilize without really intimidation and blackmail and anything. We have convinced 150 members. I am still in the process of convincing an extra 50 by tomorrow. By next day after tomorrow. That will be 200. And then by close of this week, I'll have convinced about 300 members. Simple majority. For you to pass the bill, you need simple majority. Because voting is not on it's not on individual casting like it's usually done it's not out of counting. In any case, if there are divisions, then now at that point we'll now vote digitally. But as it is by acclamation and the eyes have it answered. Mswada huu umefanywa marekebisho. Vile watu wameendelea kutoa maoni yao mswada huu unaendelea kufanywa marekebisho. We are not rushing. What we are saying is this: we have a budget to service, but we do not know where to get the money from. And it is through the finance bill that we'll be able to collect revenue. And what we are saying also is that we have to make a choice. There are projects that were started by the previous regime that have stalled across the country. Now, do we ignore them? Because Kenyans will also suffer. Do we ignore electricity connectivity? Do we ignore the road network that is also a means of transport? Do we ignore schools, yet we've got JSS that need school infrastructure and such? We either ignore or borrow more, and we have a ceiling that we are almost exceeding. And that is why we are saying we must pass the finance bill. In any case, by the way, we've reduced taxes, and it's important for us to know that some sections of revenue collection that were so common have been reduced. There is nothing new that has been introduced.
Omurai wense Dr. William Samoei Ruto nigagendrete kwenekeria ba Kenya bunanigo serikali ya Kenya kwanza irine kirenge kiage guchoko imokia uchumi ense ya Kenya goro nabo igo koreta amagendro gukwana sensemo ya Gilgil Ruto nigabaka ukwana regoro murobiro bwagachi wechinyomba aserigorire inse na tamna murobiro yini wo chigotigara kogendera buna erobere na serikali ya Kenya kwanza na nigo orache gokonya bakenya bange abo barachi kwenyorera chinyomba nabo igo gukinia amagendro na uchumi ense.
Our progress in affirming the fundamental right to decent housing is critical to the achievement of sustainable urbanization in terms of SDG number 11. Recognizing this imperative and realizing that more than half of Kenya's population will live in urban areas by 2050, we have integrated universal housing as a critical pillar of the national bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Into the housing program, we have further mainstreamed sustainable urban practices of green building, green spaces, adoption of low-carbon energy use, including low-carbon transport solutions, as well as urban agriculture and effective waste management. The governor of Nairobi informed me this morning that he made sure that all the delegates were transported on buses that do not use fossil fuels. That all the buses that were used to transport delegates here were using green energy. In addition to these measures under our urban resilience program, we are restoring degraded landscapes and ecosystems through a robust program, which includes increasing Kenya's tree cover from 12% currently to 30% by planting 15 billion trees over the next 10 years. Our capacity to coherently
Omukonyi bw'omurai bw'ensi Rigathi Gachagua nigaenekirie buna chibesa nigo kirachiko bwato kwa guchiase chi county chitariki 19 cy'omutinyo iga erio gokonya abagavana gwikirania amagendero ase chi county niga yakwana chinga kyabaga kumerana n'abagavana kuru ase chi county au asensemo ya Karen memucho Nairobi chinga kyataire buna serikali ya Kenya kwanza nebwatekerenga kyogokinia ense ya Kenya.
That owing to the difficult situation the country is having in terms of availability of exchequers, we have explained to the governors the strain that the National Treasury is undergoing, and they have understood, and after lengthy negotiations we have agreed that the National Treasury will disburse by the end of this week monies owed to the counties for the month of April. We have further agreed that by 19th of June, the money owed to the counties for the month of May will be disbursed. The National Treasury has given a commitment with no guarantees that we shall do whatever is possible to try to raise the money for June before the end of the financial year. But if that is not possible, the counties have been requested to bear with us.
Eke ikaro kyogo kwanera amagenderero nechibesa bene ase chi county nigo getakorekana buna yarobeire ne magega yabageni besko agati abo munyakiro bwekyombe kyabagavana Anne Waiguru na boigo omu cabinet secretary Musalia Mudavadi gotaikirana ase ekyombe kino nabanigo ababwatani bekyombe kyo babere bakomumochia omo osomo waziri wechibesa aso gotaikirana askire nyonya nabo akomochiwa ase ogotaikirana omurobere obwechibesa chiria abantu bari bakorere obokorere bwe serikali bakonyorekero bachire ase umutima ko retire.
Our committee, we follow the rules that if you are invited thrice and you don't appear and there is no good reason why you have not appeared, then what follows is a summon. So we went through that process and we decided to summon her. Now today we were making a decision on the failure to honor the summons, and the committee has decided out of the two options, the option of a fine and arrest, we decided to go for the option of the fine. That was to dispense with the first summons, and then we have also decided to issue a fresh summons for her to appear on the 4th of July.
So we had invited the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Treasury to be able to come and deal with that issue. The Cabinet Secretary in charge of Treasury is also a very good friend, but he's playing with these committees. The law is very clear. Article 153(3) of the Constitution mandates Cabinet Secretaries to appear before a committee of either House or Parliament. And it doesn't say may, it is shall. We know that the Cabinet Secretary wrote a letter to the clerks of both houses. But really the clerks of the two houses have got no mandate. You know, it is this committee that has got the power to summon. It is not the clerk. The clerk merely sends letters on our behalf. And we need to be very, very clear. So I want to send a very strong warning that as far as I am the senator elected by Kenyans to be able to represent their interest, I will be able to adhere strictly to the rule of law.
Ekiombe kia European Union nigo tranense ya asogo chakia umurubiri bugokoro butumeki bwa masakara ya Chinelon goso umurubiri umanyikante na Generation Green Climate Campaign unenchira Eyemo yokorenda amazingira gokona chinga kichogo chake umurubiri yo nigo umwambasada bwa European gochemense ya Kenya iniriatagaiga abairega koboria chinse chinde go chamona kobwatrana ase okorenda amazingira.
Our priority for our cooperation in Kenya is to support the transition of Kenya to a green economy and a green future. And this is not just about saving the planet. It's very much about creating sustainable jobs and livelihoods. And to help Kenya, of course, to mitigate and adapt to the changes that are coming.
It's easy to communicate right and to live right, by at least one, knowing if they have the knowledge that waste and trash need to be recycled, need to be disposed of well, and at least we need not to pollute the environment. They can grow with it and it will save the future generation. That's why we focus on the young ones.
Togotikana nayo nigo abarai korwase obomo bwazimio la umoja One Kenya bagendreta gukwanira igoro ye bili pesa yo mwako yiga which bibiri na 2023 ase bagendreta kogikere na hotabna nige bili yo etabwatranite amaganyo yaba Kenya gukwana umuraibe kyama kyawe Kalonzo Musyoka egatia baraibande nigo baganirie ebili yebeke gotuguterware gose gokorerwa amauncherero nalie era gose betware kirenga kyogo konya omo Kenya.
Kenya Kwanza regime must stop profiling Mount Kenya youth as Mugeki or Walefi. We call on critical institutions, among them the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to investigate the conduct of police at DCI offices and raids on minor Jenga's homes, and the statements by government officials on the so-called resurgence of Mugeki sect. Any attempts to profile and vilify the community or to claw back gains made will be resisted very strongly. We will resist KK regime economic policies that are designed to oppress, deprive, or curtail economic opportunities of any of the communities that make up the state known as Kenya. We will continue monitoring, documenting, and responding to emerging policy and human rights abuses affecting Mount Kenya region and any acts that are outside the rule of law. Kenya Kwanza regime, in its evil design to impoverish the poor people of Mount Kenya, must be reminded that it is not possible to legislate the poor into prosperity by registrating the wealthy out of prosperity. We demand the immediate withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2023 in its entirety. The unwarranted and uncalled for attacks on His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Azimio chairman, must stop.
Mwancho murigereri bono na manke ngwariganeretie korinde no chikenyora asenchira yo wikira na inde chikoraga chinsesato korenda sechinga kie chigani tetengenda sumutu mukeigo erinde ngo ira sensemo ya kabere ye studio mwarigani Victor Sultan eriato manyebuna nara yato atwariganire korwa sensemo ye chigosori ono mwancho murigereri gendera kubwatie manye Jumatatu to basaguskare.
Mwanchumuli yango kwarigania ase emanye chigosori kura sensemende vlino Osero mono sogotamanya emanye Jumatatu kwa Victor Sultan Yubangi tuyachakire ase egetigia Gusii Stadium abwaso bonge bwa mashabiki yo asogeti wotuteria etimu ya Shabana aletiro munguso anene ase timu yo yarokanire gutwara mashabiki amange ase enkoye bakosoria anawetania chitimu chikosoria ase ligi ya Kenya Premier League Shabana ni goya kosoria ase getigia Gusii Stadium ne timu ya Kibera Black Stars abwase ya ekolete egole ya mo ase ligi ya Isegero obuyo bwo bwagendete ko yebeka asubura igwe ligi ya National Super League egati ya wekanante asegeti ekyo kya Gusii Stadium amono morai was Murray Odinga no mo governor we county ya Kisii Mbarati egati ya raibande kurwa sorogongo rwa Gusii pointi emerongo etanomo chinga kimuranga sil baba ikolete Mwatate United ekobwati aseri bagali akabene pointi emerongo etano na isano na isato utikana na ligi ya National Super League ngo irime ye ligi ya KPL go Kenya Premier League abo asemaiga ya wazito kubeko bolitogwawo igoro ya Tusker na kubaikora chigoli bere Eyemo Gor Mahia ni gobono bayirenire asubura ibwe ligue iyo sewikirabono balene point mirongo etano mona isano na ibere Gor Mahia ni go boigo babaikolete timu ya Ulinzi Stars chigoli bere asringere segero segosori ya getwe abo asewikirabono Gor Mahia iganete kora ligi emaiga ya Tusker koikorwa ne timu iyo ya Wazito FC chigoli chonsi cha Gor Mahia ni go chabegetwe Osero Austin Odhiambo.
I'm really pleased. And you've heard me say before that this is a young team and results won't always go our way, but we're trying to build something, and I think today almost there's part of that first half and part of the second half that almost makes me a little bit emotional as a coach, because there was a real beauty in some of our play. It was beautiful, some of it, and we know that the players, it's within that team. It doesn't happen every week, you know, they're maturing and they're developing, but we're supporting them in that. You know, it's tough when you play for Gore and want to develop because you're always under pressure.
Onchomaliga chigosori oboigonche na toko chigosori wali tukorigoro ligi ya Kenya Premier League agati abone yo ya Gor Mahia bayiragire asobora League mega yo kubayikora Ulinzi Stars chigoribere liga na yesegero Kakamega Homeboys bakaba timu ya Madara United goriyamo segero Wanyawengi KCB bakaba Bidco United goriyamo Senoti Chingaki Police FC beko keratie obo wichigori sato Eyemo Vihiga Igo baba gete FC Leopards chigoribere Eyemo chingakiwa Zito baba gete timu ya Tusker chigoribere Eyemo. Onchomaliga chingaki Ulinzi Stars bari ikorwa ne timu ya Gor Mahia Ulinzi Starlets nigo baringi kubwege kombe segeti kia Nyayo Stadium Ulinzi Starlets igo baba ikorete timu ya Nakuru City Queens asege kombe usasi finali kombe ya FKF Women's Cup na koira kombe kyo ntunda ya kabere maiga yokuba Nakuru City Queens chigori sato Eyemo yoranga Ulinzi Starlets ni goba charity campaign yokuba kombe use league yo ya FKF Women's League ntunda ntanga nikigima yokorokunga round of the 32 maiga yokuba ikora abanyaruka kurasoro ngo Gusii Starlets awekera bono ni go baile kombe kyo
alikula nini huyo Masairo? Fataki ya mbali sana. Tazama kwa
ndio mpango wake. Saa zingine first half una feel kama opponent tayari amekusoma.
Wakati wanafunga goli tamu kweli hapa. Aliingia kipindi cha pili vile badiliko Masalina Wafula.
Ndio mpango wake. Saa zingine first half una feel kama opponent tayari amekusoma.
Wakati wanafunga goli tamu kweli hapa. Aliingia kipindi cha pili vile badiliko Masalina Wafula.
Na numbers kwa sababu wanaingia wana defend wengi na Ulinzi wanakuja wanaweka very few attackers kwa set piece, lakini sasa inakaa kama iko balance kidogo. Nimekuambia
anafunga goli na alikuwa amelitafuta sana goli hilo. Nedi Okoth Atieno, nadhani ni kichwa chake kile. Ni Nedi ama si Nedi? Nilisikiza hilo manaki kama tunayo ile CAF Confederations Cup upande wa wanaume, basi uende tukashuhudia CAF Confederations Cup kwa upande wa wanawake. Na wakati wanazungusha na wananyanyua sasa rasmi mabingwa wa mwaka 2023 Ulinzi Starlets wananyanyua mwanamwari yule kwa mara ya pili katika historia yao. Wamefanya kweli, wamekuwa na kampeni kubwa na hadi mwisho wa siku wanaipiga timu ya Nakuru City Queens magoli 3-1. Wanafuraha sana, wamepigana sana kuanzia raundi ya 32 bora wakipiga.
Omba sana dadangu Doreen na Bwire aweze kuwasilisha kwa CAF kwa tuweze kuwa na Confederation Cup ya Women, ndio pia tutie motisha na timu zingine tena, sababu unaona timu za wanawake zimeanza kuimarika. Tukipata timu mbili zile
Onchomolia nara inabwate kurwa Emanye chiko sorikorende nimbwata yande anene kurwa somuspati Faith Kibiagen nyoranga na nyarete ko baba kurukanga smash the world record ye chimbero chimita Eyemo chimisano njo kumanya subagare kurende sebono de korra Everline Osero egere to yakumu Somalia sobwa.
Mano Sultan bobangi kurwa sense mende ye studio sogotoretera mangana yamaya kurwa sense mo ye chigosori Sultan. Sultan ndai dache gaigamo bori nakie bimina no bia shabana na nyorire tauni y'abantu bashabana bari kora.
It is sensational. No matter song ke kwana ngaze ke sensational.
Ndabya.
Sensational yani. ngokeriginde ngoma inchinsa isatu yani amanyinga ko munyokania asemenjo shabana boni gase torigire ti mwancho murigireria ni ligi ya Kenya Premier League
abarende ne je gosoringi babeta bakworokia arucho muraibe kama kia ODM Raila Odinga na chete kweneke gosori
no aringe women rep donya no aringe mo senator no aringe keromo kyo kumingeringa Osero abange banonya bali batali amashabiki wo mupira no bayikira segeti kia Gusii stadium
mbia mono no mwancho murigereri buna twabe mbia manase kwabere gochora ko bana into imeye manye Jumatatu twabere to kumanyia manke buna bere okorekana ase chinsemo oime yense ya Kenya nabaye okorwa se manye Jumatatu chigosori buna sultani abere otumanya buna nara ya bere okorekana ase nsemo chigosori anene ase weekend ega mende mina ne binge bigokorekana chi weekend
kabisa yakora to koretare manye chigosori juma nabaye go lituko lya Jumatatu mwancho murigeria inyoranga aya na yanda mangi naboko nyora ase mitandao yaito Facebook okotonyara una Ndizi TV News Digital
asensemo ya YouTube Ndizi TV News
asensemo ya website okotonyara una www.ndizitv.net
na so mutandao Twitter nabo twitwetera @Ndizi TV News ilitogendere wesanga nabo igo kwemanya amanke
oyo tokonya ko ene kingama lyogine chibi chawe ikere ni gakoro kwa Patreon ya mukera kurwa sensemo yo mimanyiro yo ni gakoro kwa nga Joshua Auta
encheri tariane nkoro kwa Everline Osero
Victor Sultan obangi una botambe ipo siku tuzidisheni